Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I am your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Big Mac Shepherd. I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter from an asteroid near Brow who recently got promoted to captain.
Hi everyone, I'm Daikami-sama and I play Solas of Ebha, who is a Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
Hey, I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Brawl.
Hello everyone, I'm Salen Mortar. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage.
Hey there, I am Zach and I play the character of Lafdul Moonglade, a specialty priest thief multi-class. And his running gag is his custom titles. He is currently the Conspuckle Kidologist.
What?
Yeah, bet that confused you. I will type it.
Conspunkle? That sounds
Conspuckle.
That sounds dirty.
No, it's not.
I have
I was
never...
worried about the kidology. That sounded dodgy, but it's not.
He's a catologist. He studies cats.
I think we're going to need some definitions here.
Well, kidology is the art or practice of deliberately deceiving or teasing people, and Conspuckle is easily recognizable because of last night's shenanigans. It should have been obvious.
Oh, do you have something that you want to tell the other players?
No.
What did you do?
Nothing.
He didn't do anything.
I was just being laughed at.
Yes.
So, we left off last session. The party has entered the Kryn system, with Kryn and its three moons, Nuatari, Lunatari, and Solinari. Nuatari is the one that orbits closest to the planet, and it does orbit pretty quickly, but not so fast that it's an issue to get to. And I believe that was your destination. Did you have a desire to go to... You knew of two ports, and you know how to get to both of them, so it's kind of... I mean, you don't really know much about them individually.
Toss a coin and hope for the best.
I'm not sure we want to actually land at these ports because we still haven't tracked down the spy on board. Although the spy might have got onto the other ship.
Okay, so is there something else that you want to do here in orbit of Kryn? You had an encounter with some lizardmen as well.
Yeah. Well, I'd certainly like to confirm the ports are where we think they are.
Okay.
It's just I'm a bit concerned that if there's a spy on board, that they will just go and tell people, hey, these people aren't who they say they are. Yeah, you need to kill them and take their ship.
So one problem with confirming the location of the ports is that they're well hidden, and from the descriptions that you've received of their locations, you would know that getting to them, like if you were to just do it like a flyby kind of thing, or to as far away as possible to confirm its location, they will see you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Did we get confirmation that we could land there with our ship? Because I thought these were just sort of like terrestrial moons.
They are. They're not particularly large ports.
Yeah.
But you didn't really get news one way or the other about landing your battle dolphin there.
Mm. What does anyone think of the idea that we take the flitter, we don't actually land at the port, but try to come in over the horizon and get close enough to it to be able to walk there?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
So they're both in the mountains.
That seems awfully... Is this planet like utterly deserted otherwise?
You're not close enough to really get a good look, but the...
but what's the word?
The guidebook basically indicates that there aren't any known populations. I mean,
What about wildlife?
it's inhabited with wildlife and creatures and monsters and stuff like that. Is kind of the impression that you got from the guidebook. But according to the guidebook, there are no known ports. There are no known settlements.
Yeah.
So those
So
would be very well hidden.
yeah, and from the descriptions of how you get to them, you basically have to go into narrow canyons, and they're both in the mountains, and they're well hidden from space.
And just
Well,
landing near them might risk us encountering the wildlife.
Well, I'd say we've got three choices.
Flare is good.
I'd say we've got three choices. We either go in there and pretend like we're dodgy traders or pirates or something like that, and we'll have to have a really good story to back that up. Or we sneak in on the flitter and observe the area and try to sneak out again. And if we do that, we might need to tell our ship to go away if they see anything, and then come back and rendezvous with us somewhere. Or we try to confirm the area visually and run away without engaging with them, and then go talk to other people and come back and raid the ports. But I don't know that we can confirm that they're pirate ports, and I don't know whether we want to be trying to rally an attack on what might be quite fortified city.
One would assume they would have means to defend themselves in order to become that
Yeah.
established as to become a port.
Yeah.
But obviously it wouldn't be a match for
Well-
an elven navy.
You and Finn are experts in moving around. You're better in the city, and Finn's better on terrain. Maybe we can have a look at the moon with my spyglass and see if we reckon that we can travel over land without too much trouble.
Does it mention anything about the topology or whatever it's called? The
So you could do a flyby of the moon and then like go
Yeah.
to Lunatari, and like you can fly by Nuatari, just kind of get a feel for what
Yeah.
it looks like, and then go to Lunatari to prepare.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because keep in mind that again, this moon is not. It's also not particularly large.
Right.
Let's see. So Solinari out here is the
from-
largest.
Sorry.
Lunatari is middling size, and Nuatari is actually kind of small.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, the official material never gave solid information for it, and I feel like I wrote something down, but I can't find it. If I did, I think I came up with some sizes that basically put Nuatari at like size B, Lunatari at C, and Solinari at D.
Well, you can kind of try to work it out, because there's a thing in Dragonlance called the Night of the
Yeah,
Eye.
no, I did
guessing.
that, and I did that. I just can't remember where I wrote down the information I used
Yeah.
that for.
I don't think we'll be walking across the whole moon, so won't matter if you're a bit out. I don't think you'll have the Spelljammer police come in to tell you to delete your videos.
So you want to do the flyby of Nuatari?
Yeah, one thing I would say,
Mhm.
from the description we got from our contact, are both the ports in a position where we could maybe go somewhere else to see what the terrain's like without being seen? Like if they were both in the north and we went over the South Pole or something?
They're both kind of roughly on opposite sides of the planet, the moon,
Right.
from each other. Like they're not.
Yeah.
They're not quite as far apart as they possibly could be, but they're pretty much as far apart as they possibly could be. Like one's in the northern
Okay.
hemisphere, one's in the southern hemisphere. One's in the Eastern
You-
Hemisphere, one's in the Western Hemisphere, kind of thing.
You would think there might be somewhat competition between them.
I don't know.
Quite possibly.
Um,
You haven't heard one way or the other.
I'm just worried that they might see us and send a ship after us. Okay, how about this then? What do people think to us flying a course that looks like we're taking a shortcut past Nuitari to get to Lunitari? What's the orbits like for? Let's have a look. Side. Yeah. So we've got Nuitari is here.
Yeah.
And we got Lunitari is here, so we can make it look like we're going around Nuitari to get to Lunitari.
Yeah.
And have an excuse for flying that course.
You mean we are in such close proximity to these that we are not flying in Spelljammer speed?
You will
Oh,
fly.
no,
No, you'll fly at Spelljammer speed in between them, but it's like at most 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
To get from Nuitari to Lunitari.
Yeah. But say if we were going to Solinari, it'd be suspicious that we went to Nuitari. But because Lunitari is almost on a straight line, we can make it look like we're just flying around Nuitari to get to Lunitari.
Now that said, none of the according to your guidebook, none of these moons have settlements.
Yeah. That's true. So they might wonder why we're going to Lunitari.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder if people... Well, the other thing is we can make it look like we're leaving Kryn. We could fly closer to Kryn, and then we could... Can I get the arrow thing to work? Without drawing on things. We could make it look like we're going in this sort of course. Everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got Roll20 to work. Only took 3 years. So, what do people think? Will we be better off looking like we're leaving Kryn? So I think if we come into this side of Kryn, we can then fly a course like this. And then when we go past Lunitari, we can turn to the right. And we can then go into Lunitari orbit and have a chat about it. Is there any spells people have that can spy on the moon or anything like that?
Not on that range,
Spy
no.
and what? Sorry.
Only if it was familiar place for me.
Right.
What type of spying?
I don't know. I just mean if there's anything you can do, if it's preparations you want us to make, maybe we want to wait. If someone had a spell, but they couldn't cast it till tomorrow, we could wait before doing this.
I mean, it took you're right around a second day, so and especially if you want everyone to be up and about as opposed to on a shift, then taking kind of like 8 hours to rest, hiding behind Lunitari, just so that everyone can change up their spells if they want and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I was more thinking about going to Lunitari to do a planning meeting.
Well, but that's what I mean is that you can do
Yeah.
a planning meeting at the same time, and
Yeah.
people can rest. You guys can talk about spells that you want, get a rest, change up the spells, cast some if you want, if there's anything that you feel would be relevant or whatnot.
Well, to answer your question, Leva doesn't have actually many. Just go and have a look, like map spell.
Mm-hmm.
But she can figure out if somebody is checking for us with scrying, for example.
Okay. If you've got that prepared, that might be useful, because if we know that someone's observed us, that might
It's
change
not
our
even
actions.
us. It's not in the past. It's the current one. Is somebody looking for us right now?
No, well, we're going to fly past New Itari.
Well, she did. You said the spells are new. Okay, in that case, she has one memorized. Detect scrying.
So what the plan is we're going to fly closer to Kryn, and then make it look like we've flown away from Kryn past New Itari to Lunitari. Right. Well, if no one's got any issues with that, or another suggestion, I think that's what we should do.
Last time you said that there was some stowaway in our ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not landing on New Itari now.
Yeah. I mean, that should we try to figure out where that stowaway is before we go close to Nuitari?
We tried.
We've tried sweeping the ship.
Yeah, well, to inform you what happened, we had Leva got a rash on her skin, and so did who else? Braxon. And
the crewmate.
one of the crew. And who was it? Was it Lafdul who got pinched in his back? No, it was somebody else who was pinched in his back.
A couple of people got knocked aside as if they were bumped by someone invisible.
Mm-hmm. And what did you go and check? You went to check something, and then you went.
I was going to wake up Finnel, obviously to take a look at the rash, because whatever I did didn't seem to work. So people wanted a second opinion. So I go to wake him up, and then I get knocked out.
And
but Finnel was woken up. No, was that Finnel or was it Ockar? I can't remember.
Didn't you go?
I think you went to wake Ockar first, and that's when he got thumped.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so too. And so that's essentially why we think we have someone on the ship.
I thought it was Lafdul who got thumped.
It was.
Yes.
I thought you said Ockar.
No, he
Outside
went to
of your
wake you
room.
up. He went to wake you up, and then he got thumped.
Yeah.
Right.
But we can have a look at New Itari. Unless someone thinks this thing could jump off and fly down through the atmosphere, we could have a look at New Itari and then have another look for this thing at...
well, if it's invisible, it would mean that there's some kind of powers that they have, and that those powers might include some kind of communication.
We forgot to inform you. You should know that the entrance to the hold is locked.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to talk to Leva if you need to go into the hold. But nothing has actually. We didn't hear any noises from in there, did we? Old?
No.
Leva.
Mm-hmm.
Does your detect invisibility detect camouflage?
It should, if I look at it. But you see, if I don't look at it, then I don't see it.
Because camouflage is, I don't know, because it's a different kind of invisibility, essentially.
It sees beings that are invisible, as well as any that are astral, ethereal, or out of phase. In addition, it enables the wizard to detect hidden or concealed creatures.
Concealed, so yeah, that would be it.
In shadows, halflings in underbrush, and so on.
Yep.
Yeah,
it doesn't tell me what the method of concealment is, but I can see them.
Yeah, it's the fact that they're concealed, so.
Mm-hmm. It does not reveal illusions.
It's not, wow.
So, and it's not so much that you would see them, it's that you would know that there is, like, if you looked at a bush that there was a halfling hiding in, you'd know that there's something there, is essentially what it would be. You know, because again, it wouldn't tell you what the method of concealment is, but you'd know that there's something there in that bush.
Mm-hmm.
Does detect magical invisibility?
It would tell you that there is some magic in the area, but it's not gonna.
Yeah, you walk past and there's illusion phantasm. Yeah, suddenly.
Yeah.
But but Leva had detect invisibility on that yesterday, and she didn't see anything. A question to the ones who are more used to being around in or flying around in Spelljammer. Could there be some natural phenomena that do that?
I mean, you certainly might have picked something up that caused something, and
It could be a spirit.
it's not unknown for there to be like spacefaring creatures that like to have a little fun at times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did run into what was it? A fire, something? An area where there was fire that produced fire on the ship.
Yeah, elemental
that.
fire pocket.
Could it have been something like that? Are there areas like that produce these phenomenons that we saw?
I suppose it's possible that there could be some creature made out of air that would be invisible, but how does that explain Lafdul vanishing?
Mm-hmm.
Lafdul vanishing makes me think that particular thing is the action of a spellcaster.
I mean, that could have been knocked out of phase or something, I guess, well, for lack of a better way of describing something.
Oh, there was that time when Higimus vanished onto another plane for a while.
He did?
Yeah, apparently he could see what was happening, but he couldn't talk to us.
Oh, he had that a spell cast on him. It was that 5th level shadow spell.
Yeah.
Turns you into a shadow.
I suppose if you were unconscious and pushed onto another plane and you woke up back on this plane, you wouldn't realise. You have that spell you cast on yourself that you cast that spell on other people to read their memories. Could you read your own memories when you were unconscious with that same spell?
No.
And find out what happened to you?
You don't have memories when you're unconscious.
Right. So it doesn't talk to
If you were to
talk to your soul or something.
if you were to read the memories of someone who's unconscious, you'd get like seeing the inside of their eyelids.
What?
like that's their memory of that.
There is the argument for using thought capture because Arca said he detected something. So, yeah, I mean,
So
like
we could
spells
try
that
that.
pick up memories. So I might be able to get something around Arca. Yeah.
We could try
Lots
that.
of
But
people walk around.
the question is there any reason to delay going to Lunitari to do this before we move?
I mean, you're not talking about landing on Lunitari.
No, I know. But there was people that had concerns about us going to New Itari before we resolve this.
I have a spell that could reveal our invisible friend, but I need to get my hands on a mirror.
What kind of mirror?
A silver mirror no more than 3 inches in diameter.
Yeah, I've got 10 of them. For my
Yeah,
sanctuary.
yeah,
I just give you one.
I got similar mirrors also.
Because apparently they get consumed up, so now Lafdul has 10 mirrors.
Oh, we'd also have to lure it somehow through the area, but
Yeah.
How does your spell work? Oh, you mean the warding one? Invisibility purge.
yes.
If I had a pendant made out of copper wire that is worth at least 20 gold pieces, I could detect if
Detect
it's
spirit.
spirit.
That's a good point.
But I don't have such pendant at the moment.
What's the
I
area
keep-
of effect of invisibility purge?
It's a 10-foot square per priest if you do it as a...
Okay.
Oh, you and Arca could both do it together.
I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
he can cast it yet, though.
Yeah.
Now, Solas, I meant. You both got wards.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, if it was a large enough area of effect, like a 40-foot cube or something like that, that would cover a pretty big area on your ship. But yeah, a 10-foot square is not particularly large.
Or even 20 foot.
No, we'd have to put it
Okay.
in a passageway and get them to
Yeah.
go through the passageway. Somehow.
You could try fumigating. Is it fumigating when you like purge an area with like smoke and incense or something? I can't remember. We used to do it to get rid of plagues or something. Or the common belief back then.
Let me see. Has anything happened since Leva closed the door, locked the door?
Since invisibility purge can be casted as cooperative.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Leva, I don't remember exactly what order you cast that in. Like, whether that was in the midst of everything going on. But it's either been a full day or like half a day since anything has happened. With Finnel'ar's ministrations, those rashes are clearly going away, and they'll be going away pretty soon. Within, if you guys were to rest for 8 hours, then that would probably clear it up completely.
I actually was under the understanding that it had cleared up.
Contained.
Yeah, I mean, he gave you ointment and treatment. I mean, it was very much like poison ivy. Have you ever had poison ivy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't go away right away if you use medication on it and stuff.
All right.
So.
The last thing she did before she gave up the search was to lock the hold.
Okay, if that was the last thing that was done, then no, nothing has happened since then.
Okay.
I just couldn't remember like what order that was done in. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there wasn't anything else done after that, and you just continued on your journey, nothing else.
Yeah, this was the start of the new shift when me and Leva came off a shift, and I was going to go around and do battle senses. She did her detective visibility, then she did her this spell, the warding. I assume.
Has anyone got any specific concerns about us doing a flyby of?
Can I ask the question that I was asking?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so since invisibility purge is a cooperative spell, or can be casted as cooperative spell, does the clerics need to be of the same faith?
If it doesn't say so, I would rule that no, they don't.
It doesn't say so.
Yeah, so it needs to be done with the same purpose, kind of thing. So like your deities would have to not be opposed to each other, which your deities aren't.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I don't think Obadhai gives a crap about Ogma. It's just just someone out there, whatever. Yeah, so you'd be able to cooperative.
Since the base area of effect is 1 10-foot cube per priest, so if we were to cast it cooperatively, it would increase the effect by another 1 10-foot cube, and also increases its duration.
Yeah, which, like, to a certain extent, the best use for that would be to, like, get 2 levels, I would say, as opposed to, like, basically stack the 10 feet cubes on top of each other to get corridors on 2 different levels on your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, get 20 feet of corridor, because if something's going to pass through 10 feet of the corridor, it would pass through 20 feet of the corridor.
Yeah, but also the duration of it is, so if both me and Finnel'ar were to cast a couple of those, I think they would be able to take quite a lot of the ship cleared, basically.
I mean, it's up to you.
Um,
But that also requires mirrors for each of you, unless it just says that they're not expended.
No, it doesn't say anything about it.
Okay. It's up
Where
to you,
would
but
want to cast it?
I would assume that neither of you have it memorized right now.
Not at the moment.
I have one casting of it memorized right
Okay.
now, actually.
All right. And Leva, you were asking something?
Yes, I was asking where they would want to cast it.
Do you want me to bring you guys over to the deck plan?
That would be helpful.
Okay.
So, assuming that this creature is inside the hold and can't get out at the moment, that's why Leva is asking, would it make sense to do it in front of the hold entrance?
Okay, I don't think that I was thinking too much about your deck plan, because now I'm just noticing that to get to the upper cargo deck on your... Like, you could put something on a door to the shuttle hold, but your upper cargo deck, it's just stairs up to it and then ladders up beyond it. There's nothing really to easily lock other than the hatch out.
Ah.
Lafdul's glyph
Now-
of warding was just on the entrance way.
So we all envisaged some invisible entrance to the holds that Leva just locked.
I think that I was actually thinking about the shuttle when you were talking about it, because that's where all of your cargo pretty much is right now anyway. Like, all the cargo that you brought on board, that you purchased, because you've been using the shuttle.
So how do you get here then? How does that work?
Hold on a
Do you
second.
go up like that?
Yeah, so it's
From like there?
Yeah, you go up...
It's up there.
Yeah, it's the second set, whereas this
Is that a window?
these stairs go here.
Yeah. Well, is this a window or a...
No,
door?
that's a hatch
All right.
for loading.
Leva has an escape hatch on her room.
I think you guys replace that and just put a wall there.
If I had a glyph of warding, which I do have, it would have been on the entranceway to the top of the stairs,
Okay.
I guess.
But keep in mind that these ladders lead
Yeah.
out to here as well.
Yeah, that's just something Lafdul's not done. He's only done that one. So it doesn't matter if it goes that way or that way. So for this, it's just this one that he's done for that part.
Okay.
And obviously he's got one down there. I can't remember what the other one is. It's on the sheet. I have to check.
So, I mean, I think I was thinking that you were locking that, assuming that something that you brought on board was like its lair or something, or where it came from. I think that may have been what I was thinking, which is why I would have assumed the shuttle hold.
Yeah. It makes
It could be polymorphed.
It will make sense.
But what would it be polymorphed into?
It can be polymorphed into objects. I'm
Could
pretty
it?
sure Lafdul would know that being one of his later grant powers.
Lafdul, as a trickster, would you not recognize this thing?
I could roll a legend if Order let me.
It wasn't you, was it?
You saying that in character or out of character?
Yes.
Which?
She turned and laughter. Leva turns into laughter and says, "It wasn't you, was it?"
What do you mean? Lafdul
Well,
answers.
what do you think it was?
Yeah, some kind of mysterious spirit. Probably. Some face spirit.
Are there special spirits that play pranks on people, or not
Ooh,
creatures?
yes.
You know I follow a trickster deity, so they wouldn't put it past Aravan to pull something off like this for the fun of it.
Finn could rattle off at least probably 12 different species just in forests that would do that.
Okay.
And yeah.
And there are certainly rumors of poltergeists taking up residence in ships for a time. Stories about space creatures that just, fly through space and on a whim they see a ship and they start, having some fun until they get bored and move off.
It's not impossible for any of the Fey Pixies or Nixies or whatever to go on a Spelljammer ship, is it? But a
Hard
sheer
for a
element.
Nixie, because they're water
Oh, yeah.
creatures.
Well,
Pixies and sprites, there's nothing that would keep them from it other than the fact that, they like their forests and they tend to be a little lacking on ships. But yeah, no, there's nothing that keeps them from joining ships.
you could try putting them to sleep. Leave some, leave some of Finnel'ar's amazing sleeping tea. Just try and convince them to drink it accidentally.
Or the other version that I haven't given to Lafdul.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if it were something like a space creature, a space spirit, or something like that that decided to have fun with you for a little while, the fact that nothing has happened since all
Moved
this
on.
went on would indicate that it has moved on.
Mm-hmm.
That's if it is a space spirit.
Well,
If it's something like a poltergeist, then that would not move on. That would be staying on your ship.
but that would not stop pranking either. It would sort of go, "Ha, you're here! Ping! There you go."
Possibly.
I don't think it was Lafdul pranking us because I don't think he'd knock himself out just for a prank.
You never know.
Nah.
I mean, he is dedicated to Trickster Core.
Yes. So.
If you're literally asking Lafdul that, he would say, "I wouldn't put it past me."
Well, Leva did ask you, but then she sort of she said,
No,
nah,
but the way
I
you're
don't think you
wording
were.
it.
Braxon looks at Leva and Solas and Lafdul and says, "Well, he did send a dead bird at me once, but he didn't deny it afterwards."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That too, yes.
So, Lafdul, would you give your word on that of your deity? Would you swear on your holy symbol that has nothing to do with you? Because that'd be enough for me.
Braxon, would he
Sorry?
even know? If his deity would play a prank, would Lafdul even know?
Well, if it's not him,
Wouldn't
if it's
my
his deity following him,
deity...
that's a different thing.
The thing is about Aravan is that he wouldn't have a problem with, hypothetical, say if I did do this, he wouldn't have any problem with me swearing with it, even though it's a known falsehood, because it is part of his ethos. Part of my
So
ethos.
what
It's
you're
part
saying?
of his.
So what you're saying is
would-
when you swear an
It
oath,
wouldn't prove anything.
when you
because
swear an
of
oath,
how
it's not
my
like your
deity
god
works.
cares.
Okay. Well, unless someone's going to cast Detect Lie on him and make him swear, we might as well decide whether we're going to fly past Nuitari or not.
Well, Leva thinks we should just reopen everything and see whether things restart, whether the pranks restart, and then decide. And if they don't restart, then we're probably rid of it, whatever it was.
Any objections?
Not really.
Yeah, I think it's
Sounds like a
best
plan
to
to me.
best to get this cleared up before we do anything more important.
Okay. So you dispel the protection on
Yes.
the door. What spell had you cast on that door?
Just a second, I wrote it down. One that I can only do with Dispel Magic.
Okay, so you have to
Avoidance
cast Dispel
on the
Magic.
hold entrance.
Okay.
I cast
Yeah.
Avoidance.
Braxon says, "Well, you lot get on."
Oh, okay. So no. Okay, my mistake. Sorry. I was thinking of something like Wizard Lock. No, you would have been able to cast Avoidance on the stairway then. Sorry, I couldn't
Okay.
remember exactly what spell you had cast.
I cast Avoidance.
Yeah,
That's funny. People trying to go up the stairs and they can't.
that would have
Yes.
made it a little difficult, but yeah, I'm not gonna. We're okay. All right. So Dispel Magic.
You can dispel your magic.
Hang on.
providing
Yeah,
you
but I have to
confirm the
Just
I
make
have to
it
spell.
roll
fail,
I have to
yeah.
roll level
Yeah, I know.
variation to see if
That's
there's a
what I
chance
was.
of Wild Surge.
That's what I was going
Mhm.
with. If you can form the spell.
And it
One-
worked?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, it
did
worked.
you? Okay.
1 second. You've got a spell you can cast on a staircase to stop people going near it.
Yes.
How long does that last?
As long until I dispel it.
Can you cast that spell on our masts?
On what?
The masts. We're up against an enemy
You
that
wouldn't
likes
be able
to.
to fly the ship.
Yeah, you wouldn't be.
Yes, but
Your
see,
crew
the
wouldn't be able
problem-
to
You
use
won't be able
their.
to
Oh,
adjust sails or
It's
okay.
not
anything.
specific. It's a generalized spell. If I cast Avoidance, then you will avoid it.
Right.
But all
So
the
you
nice
can't
ship
cast.
all the
You can't cast it at the
tie-downs
top of the
wouldn't be
mast or anything like that.
accessible.
Yes, I can, but nobody could get close afterwards. So every time you want to do something in that area, Leva would have to dispel it.
Actually, you could cast it on the flitter, couldn't you? When we go down on the Nuitari.
And how would you go down on the? Well, yeah, I could cast
We-
it on the flitter,
We just walk.
but
He means after you land.
Yeah.
you
to
just
stop
cast
anyone
it as a
stealing
way.
it.
Yeah, effectively. Because didn't you say that only you can dispel it, or can anyone dispel it if they try enough?
well, it's going to be a success if Leva dispels it, unless she has a wild surge.
Yeah, but if I went to dispel it, or Solas, or Finnel'ar,
Anyone can dispel it if they succeed in dispelling it with the dispel magic.
See.
But with the Leva dispelling the avoidance she cast herself, it would be automatic success, I think.
It's their own spell, so.
You have to be also careful what you spell this. What you cast it on. Let's say Braxon. If I cast Avoidance on your clothes, then they would not run but move away from you. It wouldn't be you
It's
who couldn't cast it, who couldn't touch them. They would go away. They
It's
would
like
move away
magnetic repulsion.
from you. Yes.
Braxon looks at Lever out the corner of his eye.
Not that I would ever do something like that. Come
course
on.
not.
Of course not. It's only the quotation marks wild search that does it.
Yes. And it can't be a living creature either.
Okay, so you've dispelled the avoidance on the staircase. And you guys now want to get that flyby of Nuitari and see if anything happens on your ship in the meantime?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so you're going to go by Kryn and then up between the two moons kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's what you were...
I think we go here first.
Are we sleeping once we get to Lunatari?
Yeah, we can have a day there.
Because
Once we get there,
spells.
we can decide our actions. So if anyone wants to do things and swap spells, or if they can spy on the planet, or if we could look through.
I do currently have an augury memorized. I can cast it, but
You'd basically want to cast it as you're landing,
Yeah.
because it will take 10-20 minutes to actually land.
Well, we can't land on Lunatari, can we?
You could land on Lunatari. You could. But I'm
Not-
talking
not the
about
whole ship.
Nuatari.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever ship you're using. You can land
No,
Oh,
I was
on...
thinking about casting the augury as we fly by. Would we be attacked as we fly by?
Yeah, there is that.
You could definitely cast... you could
Will
cast it
there be
right
danger
now.
of
You've got
flying
plenty of
past?
time. Like, that would be... Yeah, if you want to cast it to
If we're
determine if there's
we're
danger
set on
flying
this,
by the moon.
Are we set on this course?
Yeah, if you or anyone else wants
If we're
to.
set on
Yeah,
this course, I will cast an augury to determine whether or not
yeah. So just so
any
you know,
harm shall befall us
the idea-
upon passing this moon.
the idea was to fly towards Kryn and then to fly past Nuitari.
Yeah, which is fine. That's why I'm casting my augury for that. Will any harm befall us upon passing?
Okay.
If it's the next day, then
Not yet.
we will-
It's not yet.
Oh,
So you have the augury memorized
Yeah,
already,
I
right?
do.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is
'cause
the
originally-
chance for success?
77, 70 plus priest level.
Okay. Okay. And what exactly are you asking?
Will will any harm come to us upon passing?
It's a simple, clear no.
Yeah. Now just to say, there'll be no harm.
There you
According
go.
to my augury.
Right.
All right.
No harm
So
will come to us. We'll just be captured and sold to slavers.
I mean,
But let's
there's
take
a chance
careful.
my spells wrong.
So
They
you
will carefully subdue us.
you don't need to move the ship token by the blocks. This is all just for ease of visualization.
Okay.
But go ahead and move the ship up to Nuatari.
Because this is a
Right.
new day, I would have a new memory read.
It's not a new day yet. You haven't.
No, I mean my shift started when I memorized new spells, obviously.
Okay.
Because I've only cast my Braxons and augury so far.
All right.
In my shift, so I would have a new refreshed memory read.
Okay.
That
Do
was
we
just
have
for Ockar.
Sorry.
So if
Do
I
we-
get memory at some point, but yeah, carry on.
Do we have an idea how close we can go to Nuitari without having problems? Can we see the atmosphere?
You can't really see atmospheres except as like kind of a fuzzy haze around planets sometimes, and even then it doesn't. It's not always obvious when something has an
It's like-
atmosphere until you enter.
Like a heat vision, heat wave.
Alright.
No, it's more if you look at the edge of a planet with an atmosphere. Sometimes you can see that atmosphere as kind of a slight fuzzy halo haze, but we're still talking about a thin line along the curvature of the disk of the planet. So
Okay.
Wait, are we going to a disc world?
no,
No.
round worlds look like disks to your
Ah.
eye.
I wanted to see the world being carried by elephants on top of a turtle.
I mean, you've been to a disc world.
Yeah, we've been to a few.
So, how close you get is up to you. If you want to skim the atmosphere, you can. Like I said earlier, it would take 10 to 20 minutes to land So,
Yeah.
like, if you
My
don't
augury
get quite to that point, then you're fine. I mean,
was only
anything
for
down there
passing
would
by.
take that same amount of time to get up to you.
Okay. Well, when we're on the way in, we'll get lots of people looking out in different directions.
Mhm.
Basically, if we see any ships, we're gonna reconsider what we're doing.
All right. Well, I mean, again, you were telling me that you were just doing a flyby, and that was what my
Yeah.
assumption was with the thing from Lafdul's augury. So if you change it up, then his augury no longer
Oh,
applies. Keep
yeah.
that in mind.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But if we're doing a flyby and a ship comes up behind us, yeah, I suppose. Well, we'll keep our eye on it just in case we see any of the
Yep.
pirates.
Okay. So from this close flyby, you
Spyglass
can
already.
start to make out some forms on the moon itself. From a distance, it is just like a black patch in space kind of thing that obscures stars as you're moving along.
Could you get landmarks, Solas? Could you
You
map
mean
down
sketch
landmarks?
them?
It's like really big, obvious things, like mountains there, river there, bunch
So
of forest over
as
there.
you're closing in, the problem that you're having is that everything is like black on black. The mountains are black. The hills are black.
Right.
But is it the
There's some
charcoal black, obsidian black, and ebon black difference?
yeah, but
which
it's
way-
still really hard to tell differences and stuff like that from orbit.
Which way's the sun, Ord? forgotten
It
Where it was on the
is-
last map.
You're coming around the backside actually, the dark side,
Oh, right.
this way. Let me double check.
So this side is the dark side. Maybe
Yes.
we should have done the light side. Mind you, that's more risk of being spotted.
Yeah, but if you're gonna play support, you want it on a dark side, I guess. Actually, no. If the moon rotates, then it doesn't matter.
So, again, like the mountains are black, the hills are black. You see, using the spyglass, you see some things that you think would be scrubby forests, perhaps,
Yeah.
that are black. There's some
I'll pass the spyglass to Finn.
There's some occasionally you'll see some glints or glitters that you realize is black water of some sort. Maybe
Right.
some rivers, maybe some lakes, that sort of thing. Going from the directions that you have, you can pick out the mountains that on this side the Black Hills port is located in. And like at the same time, everything is in shadow and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really dark down there.
Can Finn make anything out about these black forests? Like, can he confirm they're trees or?
Not from the dark side, not from the height you're at,
Right.
unfortunately.
Okay. No, that's fine. Someone's going to have to take planetology.
Maybe. But yeah, so Black Hills would be the port that you're passing by, which means that New Haunt would be on the other side, on the light side, the sun
Right.
side, at this point.
Do we reckon we can work out roughly where to land? Would we have to land the flitter in the daytime if it's this dark?
No, you wouldn't have to, but the mountains that it's located in are pretty rugged. From the directions that you got, you knew that you'd have to go down to basically a canyon or a valley or something like that,
Yeah.
and then fly in to the port. It's pretty,
Right.
it's got like a overhang and stuff like that. It's pretty well hidden from above.
How about the other port? Is that difficult to
Yeah, it's in a similar
walk
sort
to
of
from the
position.
description?
They're both well hidden from the sky, essentially, is what
Right.
it is.
Okay.
And that's one reason why, if you can see them, they can see you.
Yeah, that's why they've chosen those locations. Because they've got an entire moon to choose a base from, and they've put that base there not because there's lovely things to eat, but because they want to be protected somehow. So they've probably said, right, where's the best place for defending a base? Okay. Well, I guess if we don't see anything else, and if no one's got any spells they want to cast, we'd move on to Lunitari eventually.
Okay,
Shall I put us in orbit?
that's up to you. I mean, unless you want to do something else here in New Atari.
Does anyone want to do a circle around the moon, or should we
Not really.
not risk it?
No,
Right.
divination was only for passing by.
That's true. Okay, let's go to Lunitari and we can talk about that there.
Okay.
When we go around moons or planets, do we have to orbit them, or can we park ourselves on the far side of Lunitari and stay there?
You can park yourself on the far side and stay there.
Right.
I mean,
Okay, I think.
the only time that wouldn't work is if you have unmanned your helm. Then
Yeah.
your ship would go into orbit.
Right.
But if you have someone actively on the helm, then you can just stay in a position.
Okay. I
And
think
you
we'll
can
do that.
You can do that on a planet too, where they basically just hover a few feet off the ground, or 10, 20 feet off the ground, and you can do that for transferring cargo, or to get on and off if you wanted to land, quote unquote land somewhere. So you keep that in mind. It's just you always have that problem of if you try to change helmsman at that point, then you have a problem.
Yeah. So in an emergency, if we wanted to get a lot of our crew onto a planet, we could bring the ship down.
Yeah.
Get everyone off, and then have the crew that have got off do something like build a dry dock, and then the ship comes back and lands in the dry dock. If we needed to repair the ship.
So
something like that.
In orbit around Lunitari, you can see that the world is basically almost completely cloudless, and everything is like reddish and crashing and stuff like that.
Sorry.
That's okay. You can clearly see what appears to be some deserts, some scrubland, and grasslands down there, and it's all in like reds.
So I wonder if the moons have got similar surfaces, but just different colours. Okay. So what do people think? Do we still want to go with landing a flitter? Do we want to go with taking the shuttle there and making out we're some sort of dodgy traders?
My original thought was we've been quote unquote abandoned and we're basically looking to hire on another ship. That's the only thing I can think of. That wouldn't, well, it would be suspicious, but it wouldn't be so far-fetched. I mean, pirates probably do that. They would
Okay,
abandon
so
their own crew.
how are we going to go there if we've been abandoned? Are we going to walk into town and
Pretty
say
much.
we've been deserted?
No,
So we
would
land the
have
flitter.
to. No, we would also have to know a ship, so that we don't know. So that plan's out the window.
The other thing is, if we're going to go in there with Ockar, we're going to have to disguise him.
Not unless we. No. This is like a double-edged sword. I
Yeah.
saved that we were abandoned by the Shrike. The Shrike hadn't been here for weeks.
Yeah. If you have a story, then people could have a flaw with the story.
Although the singing sword, it has passed recently. It's well, it's reasonable to assume that they went to the polls. So at least one of them.
If you're gonna want to have a story, you should base your story on a faction they don't know.
Mhm.
For example, if we were not pirates, but a smuggler's ship, and we got attacked by the Elven Navy and crashed, and we're the survivors. But then, if we crashed, they're going to want to see injuries, and they're going to want to see wreckage.
We could
Wreckage.
fabricate a wreckage. That isn't too hard.
That's actually, I was, the Leva was just looking at that. She, question to Old.
Mm-hmm.
Would that, creating wreckage, could you do that for the whole ship with spectral force?
They're gonna start poking around with it and stuff.
Depends on the size of the ship and everything. I mean, you could
It's
certainly
40
make wreckage within the area of effect of whatever the area of effect of the spell is.
40 feet cube and plus 10 feet per cube per level.
I mean,
Plus,
you could easily make wreckage within that area.
I'm worried about this
Leva would
plan,
have
though.
to stand around. You would have to be somewhere close by and concentrate on it, and it would just be there until she stops concentrating.
I don't think
Yeah.
we could go with this plan with wreckage by being attacked by the Elven Navy, because then it's like, you lured the Elven Navy to us, you're as good as dead to us. They ain't gonna
maybe
have
not.
that kind of like security risk.
When you're talking about wreckage, that stuff we just bought, what does that do? That oil?
It's
Which oil?
oil. It's Kindori oil. It would be used for oil lamps and lubrication on machinery and stuff like that.
What if we say we were attacked by the lizard men?
You could do, but well, here's an idea, and I'm not saying we should do it, but it's just an idea. If we want to
Wreckage of a
come,
flare.
if we want to go with your story that we've somehow been forced there and we're looking for a ship, how about we use the flitter to tow a raft that we build with some of our spare wood that we normally use for repairs, and we use the raft as a fire ship. So we basically make a vaguely ship-shaped thing out of wood, tow it, and then set light to it. So they will see something on fire coming down to crash. Then we let it go so that we don't crash with it. And then we hide our ship. We hide our flitter. And we go walking into town.
You're going to do that. We're going to do that all in the next 2 hours.
I don't think I can do it that fast. But what I'm saying is, if you want to go with this story, and we could nail some planks together, it might look enough like burning wreckage to someone looking up in the sky.
Well, if Leva helps with a spectral force with an illusion spell, then we can make it look quite realistically.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it might not be perfect. If they go and investigate it, they may well find there's enough of the wood left to see that it was never a proper ship.
I could have.
That's why she's thinking of spectral force, because it creates an illusion in which sound, smell, and thermal illusions are included.
What happens to the object that you cast on is destroyed? Will the spell be dispelled effectively? Because spells like that always target the largest object, largest piece of it.
Spectral force doesn't target an object. You create an illusion of basically anything you can think of within reason, within the area
But
of
does
effect.
it move with the ship if the ship moves?
If she is moving with it too, yes.
Mm-hmm. Remember the first time Leva used it? She
why don't
created
you do?
a wall of fire, and Higgins actually got burnt.
Why do you do that as we're flying on down on a flare? You just make it out to be a wreckage. That's a fire ship instead.
Yes, I can do that.
That way, Braxon doesn't have to do anything.
Enough?
Wow.
Old? Is it small enough that Leva could do that?
It depends on what you're trying to make. I mean,
a ship that's crashing down.
Have flames around it, and well, we're not going to come down fast enough to be properly crashing. You see.
Well,
we don't want to be hurt when we
flare.
land.
As long the flare can regenerate, it doesn't matter if it takes some damage. As long as you don't destroy it.
Well, Leva is objecting to hers taking damage. I'm sorry.
Out of character, the flare's got one whole point, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure it can regenerate.
But what she could do is sort of have flames come out the bottom or something and work their way up, and I think, and when we land, then we'd have to land in a way that she could give the illusion of the flitter sort of sitting sideways or something. Just
I can add on this, in that because we put a load of convenient oil, we had an accident. It set the ship on fire.
Okay.
And then we just have a load of burnt wood that's soaked in oil.
Yeah.
So the illusion doesn't matter once it's hit on the ground, because there will be evidence that we will fabricate on the floor, which is literally going to be soaked wood that's been set on fire.
Well, wait.
That looks vaguely like a ship.
But you do realize if we give the illusion of burning as we come down, people will see it, and by the time we land, there might be people then there looking at us.
Well, they've got to fire up a ship.
We won't be able to run around placing pieces of wood.
Well, we don't need to make a masterpiece. This is literally just throw it overboard anywhere.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking we'd tow something, and when it hit the ground, it would smash up.
Well, yeah, we can do that as well, or something. We just need a bundle of burnt, oil-soaked wood.
Well, the question is also, are they going to go out there and check our story? Because if they do, there'll be something there. If they don't go out and check our story, there'll be nothing there.
What do you mean? That sounds like the Cheshire Cat problem.
I don't know what a Cheshire Cat problem is.
The cat in the box, is it alive or dead? You know, if
you mean Schrodinger?
Nothing is going to be there, and if some people go and look, there will be stuff there.
You mean a Schrodinger's cat?
Schrodinger's cat, yeah. Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat is the other one.
I thought Cheshire Cat was the weird smiling cat that creeps me out.
It does? Okay, no.
He just keeps smiling with those big old teeth.
So, part of, like, one thing that I think you guys might want to figure out first is, what is your goal in the pirate port? Because figuring out what your goal is, what you want to do when you get in there, like, not what stories you want to give, anything like that, but what do you want? You know, why are you going here for the adventure? You know, to you know,
learn where the Shrike or the what's the name of the Red Njord ship?
Red Njord.
Yeah, what's the name of the ship?
Oh,
Yeah, but we'd be going there for that, basically.
Right. So you then say, okay, so that's our goal. What do we need to do when we get there to advance that goal? Then, from drawing from that, all right, what is the best way to get into the port that will help us get through that? Because like you're thinking about how to get in this port, but I am not seeing much about, like how that is going to help you get the information that you want.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if we are going to the ports, I think we should just go there as an interested buyers of illicit goods.
And I think in that case it would be. I'm not sure how useful I'm going to be other than the whole alignments detecting. As a paladin, I'm not really all that great at the subterfuge.
Well, no, it's a facade. You're not literally selling illegal goods. You're just pretending to.
I think that instead of going to their cell, we could pretend to be going there to buy some ill-gotten items.
See, I don't think there's much of a
Since we don't
difficult.
really have any illegal goods to sell or smuggled goods to sell ourselves.
Yeah,
I
but
like the fire ship
if
idea.
if our ship went up in flames, then we do not go in to buy goods because then
Yeah,
then
we're
we have
just
no place
anybody.
to put the goods. So
We're looking for a ship, I guess, to hire on. If I
Yeah.
guess we could pretend.
the
And we
best
could
way to do that is to go
the
in
best pirates to hire on as.
Well, hang on.
go
But-
into an inn or into a
But
tavern.
if we
Hold
hire
on. Levo was speaking.
Go to an inn or a tavern or something and talk to the people and get them to talk back, and that's generally how you get the best news.
yeah, but if we are pretending to go there with basically that we crashed there and
No,
we are
we can't. I'm sorry,
Why
but we can't.
Why can't we?
If we are telling people we are interested in goods, then we can't have a crashed ship because then
yeah, but
how are we going to
They're different
transport it?
ideas.
Hang on.
Deciding which idea is good.
The problem with going in there playing the idea that we crashed down is that then they know that something's up if we don't get another ship off, and if we get another ship off,
Okay.
well, first we leave the flitter behind then.
Right.
We
Hang
don't
on.
care
What is
about
our
coming back.
goal
Hang
in
on.
all of this? I mean, getting information about the ship does not automatically include us trying to get a job on a pirate ship or any of the other stuff that we brought
Yeah,
up.
but
Hang on.
Trying
to get that
find
information,
trying
I think-
to find information about the ship would means trying to find information about the ship. And
I think we're going in a circle.
yeah, but
Hang on. Why don't we work out the information that we as a group actually need? And then once we've decided that, we can revisit these two plans that are mutually exclusive to see which one works for what we actually need. Rather than say, this plan works, this plan doesn't. Let's work out exactly what information we're trying to get, and then we'll see whether we've got more chance of getting that information from going in to buy goods openly or by sneaking in and pretending that we've been marooned.
Mhm.
What if we're hiring people? Hiring pirates.
Right. So again, ignore for the moment
Hmm.
how to get into the port, because again, you wanna figure out why you're going in there. Once
Yeah,
you've
what's
figured
our
out
goal?
why you're going in there, that will narrow down the possibilities of how you get in there. Right, but I don't just mean like, get in there to get information. I mean, what specific information do you want to try to get?
Well, I
Pirate
guess
ship locations.
like about recent activities of like Red Njord Pirate Group and such. Get an idea, or figure out where they're based.
Well, let's expand upon that.
How could
Yeah.
the best way to find that out is to hire on as one of their crew? We've heard
Not
they're
necessarily.
really good.
Well,
Not necessarily.
we could also just
Hang
mess
on.
around
Let's stick to what we need rather than whether we need to hire on. Let's work out everything we need. The thing about finding out about Red Njord is, I would say, we want to confirm whether Red Njord visits that port.
Yeah, that
Because
would be first.
if we go there and we find out that Red Njord never visits that port, we don't want to be in that port anymore. We need to leave.
Yeah, that's the number one bit of information we need. And if he does visit that port often, then we need to figure out if anybody knows where his base is.
Or if
And
his
we
visits,
can
or
just
if he,
figure out that kind of information just by asking at whatever tavern or whatever they have there.
I doubt we could really gain the information of where his base is. I think that is something he would keep secret from them. But what we could learn is how often he visits there, for example, and by that we could try to find out if he is coming expected soon in there. That way we could ambush Red Njord, possibly.
Yeah. The other thing is, if we do find someone who says that Red Njord went there, how are we going to ask that? And how we know that they're not just telling us what we want to hear?
Well, I figured, well, I'm sure Lafdul could figure out a way to subtly ask it. He's good at that kind of thing. He's good at being subtle.
I could go in solo without any of you. I don't mean that in. What I mean is,
Yeah, that might
There's
work.
there's no need for like a massive cover story. It's just one person.
Yeah, it'd probably be
Yeah.
best for a single person to go in and ask about.
Obviously, I would need to find out which ships have recently come in very quickly, because
Yeah.
that's going to be my story.
Okay.
I came in off that ship. I am now at port, looking to hire on with another ship while I'm carrying out that pretense. Not pretense. Facade. I can't think of the right word. I could be looking for specific information about the various ships that I could hire onto, i.e., Red Njord's ship. I could learn about, what is the Red Njord? Where is it? Where is it based? Could I hire on with them? Where would I need to go to hire on with them?
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously just an idea.
No, I'm not talking against it. If we were to do that, then you don't want a ship bringing you in, so we
I
would have to fly
somehow
in.
sneak in.
We'd have to maybe fly in with the flitter and get you nearby, and then you walk in the rest of the way invisibly, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would literally have to sneak in and just suddenly be in town. Once you're already in town, people don't ask too many questions unless you draw attention to yourself.
Can any of you use magic to make our flitter invisible?
I don't think any of us know.
Actually, I don't know how.
Actually,
how
go
what's
for
the
your.
area for invisibility.
Invisibility, I don't think would
You
be.
need mass invisibility.
Creature touched, it's creature.
Yeah.
So the flitter is not a creature.
Yeah.
Flitter is not a creature. No.
Well then, how's this sound? You can change into different things, Lafdul.
Wow.
Can you change into a flying creature?
I don't have the full capability of doing any creature, so to speak. I am going to learn such an ability, but I do not currently have that.
Okay.
Odd question.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't spectral force couldn't Leva use that to sort of pretend that the flitter is sort of invisible, or at least blends into the surrounding background?
That would work when you were down on the ground by like creating the illusion of a rock around it. But in space, you can't create the illusion of nothingness
Oh. Okay.
because
What
that
about
is
falling
specifically
rock?
invisibility.
But there would
Okay.
be a possibility of coming down and then having the flitter, if not disappear, at least blend in.
Yeah.
Well,
you
here's
can-
another idea.
Well, so the one downside of using, there are some spells that would do kind of what you're thinking of. The problem with using spectral force is that you got to be there, constantly concentrating.
Yes.
Which
Well then, how's this sound for an idea? I get some of the crew and we paint the flitter black, and then we flying during the night,
Where are you getting
and
the
we
paint
get
from?
Lafdul. Sorry,
Where are you getting the paint from?
I'm sure we have some paint around.
I don't
We've
think you
got
have
some
enough,
tar.
unless you've specifically said that you have that amount, enough to paint a flitter. I don't think you have enough of any sort of paint.
You
Charcoal.
might be able to
birds
get
and wood.
some tar and cover the ship in tar.
Yeah.
You don't have enough of any, unless you've specifically said that you have purchased enough of a material to cover a flitter in that. You don't have enough.
Can someone use magic to magically create paint?
Permanent paint?
Could
No, it doesn't have to be permanent. That's to
So-
last long enough to get you down.
Magic
So
creation was
spectral force could change the color of the flitter to black.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, you'd have to be concentrating the whole time. Keep in mind that you basically can't concentrate for more than 8 hours at a time.
Yes. We've actually did that once with changing the ship, and Levi is prepared to do that.
Okay, it was like 20 minutes to get down, so you'd have to concentrate for 40 minutes.
No, I'd have to concentrate until Lafdul is back.
True.
So
Or once
yeah,
I'm on the
Levi's
ground, you could
prepared
just
to do
hide the
that.
ship somewhere.
The other thing that wasn't responded to or answered was, would it be possible to create temporary black paint using major creation?
Probably. Let me.
It doesn't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
no, 'cause
somebody
it's-
has vegetable paint, for example, then I see no proper reason why Lever couldn't create more of that. That would be 2 hours per level.
I don't know that it would be considered organic. Let me take a quick look at the spell.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds more like tar. We've also got that tar stuff, that blubber. I don't know what colour that is.
It's not black.
You might get an off beige if you're
It's
lucky.
already been rendered into oil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What color is the oil?
It's probably gray. I don't actually know what color whale oil is, so I'm gonna go with gray.
So you don't have the complete book of whale oil in your 2E collection?
Nope.
We just rub the whole ship into...
Whale oil is clear.
There you go then.
It goes from a bright honey yellow to a dark brown.
That's not clear. Dark brown is not clear.
That probably means transparent.
Yeah, it's transparent, but it goes from honey yellow to dark brown, depending on the condition of the blubber.
Yeah, so I'd probably lean towards kind of a light brown with that then. All right, so I would go with the stone or crystal 1 hour per level for paint, just because I don't think it would be considered vegetable matter. And I think stone or crystal would count for basically any other sort of inorganic or mixture.
Mineral. thing, yeah.
stuff. Let's see.
That
Mineral
may not be
powder, you
enough in
just
that
add
case.
water to it.
Well, it could be enough paint. But no, how long would it take to actually paint the flitter? So Lever could make the paint.
Well, that's
and
a question.
Then how long would it take to actually paint the flitter? Because if it takes several hours, then by the time we are down there, it's already gone again.
Do you know? Do you know hallucinatory terrain, Lever?
I don't think so.
It's 4th level.
I don't remember that I actually ever did it.
Because you can just land a ship and just cast that.
Yeah, I don't think I have that, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, Leva already said she'd be prepared to sit there and concentrate for as long as it takes. You just have to be back within.
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes for me to travel. Because I've got to find a place.
And it is rough terrain down there. Around that port. Like, hiding your ship you don't think would be all that difficult.
Yeah.
But without actually going down there, you don't know how long it would take to get from a hiding spot to the town.
Yeah.
Because it's in the mountains, it's rough terrain.
I mean, what other kind of plans could we come up with? Has anyone else got any ideas?
Well, I mean, it's possible some other people could go with you to help you get near the town and not go in.
Well, getting into the town shouldn't be too hard, considering I assume that ships can fly in and out.
Yeah. But if there's creatures around.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we go in there with you, but some people could help you get towards the town. I'm not saying they should. If you're fine going in by yourself, you can go in by yourself.
So, Old?
Mm-hmm.
If Leva were to memorize 2 or even 3 spectral force spells, how would that work out? Because then she could have a different illusion on the way down, like make everything at the bottom black. And when we land, she could move or change that to whatever is necessary at the time, making it blend in. And would the total of those 2 or 3 spells be 8 hours, or would it be for each?
Total. Basically, after 8 hours of concentrating, you're like that's going to be giving you headaches. That's going to be just like, you know.
You would have to teach Solas a spell, and then he would have to take over if he can cast a spell. He would have to take the second shift.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it?
Which spell?
Well, actually,
and then Lever can do it after Solas. He naps, he casts, you nap.
Spectral Force. It's a 3rd level spell.
Spectral Force.
You can make the illusion of a library. You just gotta, you've gotta pitch a sale to Solas. You gotta get his interest in.
Why would I want the illusionary library? That doesn't.
You have an inspection that's due. You've got to make it look the part.
Appeal to Solas. You can't read any illusionary books.
That is actually quite unappealing.
Off-putting, I would call that.
Yeah. Basically, if that was the sales pitch, so Solas would say no.
I had another thought. I was talking about someone maybe going with you to help guide you. I wonder if Finn managed to turn himself into a parrot before. I wonder if Finn could be made invisible and fly around in bird form and get an idea of what you're up against before you go in.
Finn, do you want to be invisible as a parrot?
Well, not necessarily a parrot.
Well, anything. Bat.
Could be something to try.
Yeah, that's quite.
Yeah,
well, bat
Leva
would
could
have
make you
bat sight.
invisible. Nothing wrong with that.
And if that works, you could maybe even be a go-between between us and Lafdul.
But doesn't a bird need to... Well, actually, you don't need to be a bird. You could be just a human being.
He could be.
Yeah, I could make you invisible.
Being able to fly would get me around some terrain, though.
Yeah, I mean, if he could be invisible and fly,
Mhm.
and he could meet Lafdul. If Lafdul wanted to stay there longer to find out more information, or if he needed help getting out, or if he wanted us to come in, or whatever, he could pass a message back to us.
Lafdul, Leva just remembers. She has fly, and lately she's been memorizing that every day. So she could make you fly.
How long does fly last? I can't remember.
Fly
hour or two,
lasts
innit?
1 turn per level plus 1d6 turns.
So at least an hour.
Yeah. Enough to get you there. Maybe not back, but there, probably.
How many times can you cast that spell?
As many times as I memorize it.
How many times can you memorize it?
What, fly?
Yes.
That depends how many times you want a spectral
Same level.
force.
Well, let's suppose, for argument's sake, that Finn goes and does an investigation and finds that it's impossible to get in and out by climbing, but we can get Lafdul in by flying.
We got two wizards.
And we fly him in.
Yeah.
Can you
Doesn't
make yourself
Solas not
invisible,
fly?
go in, cast fly on him, and get him out?
Can I make myself invisible, go in?
Yeah. And then
Cast
go
fly.
meet him, cast fly on him, so that you can both fly out.
Yes,
Don't
but
you know
during
polymorph
the
cells?
time I do that, the ship will be unprotected. Totally, because I
Yeah.
cannot keep
Yeah.
up that illusion.
Okay. All right then. Well,
That's what you.
Yes, yes, that will
Solas,
be...
can you cast fly?
I need to remind myself if I have learned it. Yeah, I have. I just need to memorize it.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is half the thing is getting, well. First, we've got to get to the planet. Then we've got to get Lafdul in. Then Lafdul needs to find out something useful. And if he doesn't find out anything, that's fine. We've still found something out. We might need to try the other port. Then we have to get Lafdul back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if Lafdul can't get out himself, we need to have a way for someone to go in and cast spells on him that allow him to leave.
Yeah.
And that could be fly, or that can be something else.
Well,
You've spoken about a spell that makes people climb like a spider before.
yes.
That
how
also
long-
prevents me
Spider
from
climb.
casting spells myself.
How long does that last?
Spider climb.
Yeah.
Gee, it's been a long time since I looked at that one.
Well, just in case you can't fly in or out, it might be that you need to climb up or down a cliff, and we won't know.
It's
It's
yeah,
in rounds,
okay.
I believe.
Well, 3 rounds and 1 round a level.
Right.
So that's less. It would be far. It would be better to make him fly, because that lasts longer.
Oh yeah.
So yes, we could do that. We just have to look at the advantages and disadvantages of all of this. And we
Well-
casters need to know which spells and how many of each to memorize.
I think of all of us, the people. Well, you're quite good at finding out information as well, but Lafdul's quite sneaky.
Mm,
He's quite good at being sneaky.
I'm not
And
talking about that. I'm talking about getting him in and out if necessary. But
Yeah.
I actually quite like the idea that you had where Finn goes first and he
Yeah.
flies
Yeah.
in invisibly and he can look around and then he can come back and tell us what we need and
Yeah.
we then act based on that. I like
That
that.
that's I like that very well, because it could be that Finn sees something that means that we can tell that Lafdul will be walking into a trap, and then we get
If
involved.
he observes before even flying, he could see if there's actually any natural animals that are actually flying in naturally. And just mimic one of them and then just perch on the building and just listen
Yeah.
for like gossip.
Yep. Yeah, that's possible.
Well, it doesn't matter if he's invisible anyway, so you can just do that anyway.
Well, certainly if he looked like a local animal and was also invisible, if his invisibility wore off, he'd look normal to people. All right, shall we go with that then? I would suggest, if we're going to go with that, we want to have a look at the orbit of the moon and try to come in from the night side and try to get there. Probably, do we want to land there at dusk? Wait for the next morning, or we don't have a choice, do we? Because the moon's tidally locked.
So far as I
Do we know?
know, only Solinari is.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Now, but see, the thing is that tidally locked usually means to the thing that it's orbiting.
Yeah.
So that does mean that those will still have, you know,
Instead of a
nighttimes,
day
dusks,
night cycle.
yeah. But it generally is a lot longer than, you know, a 24-hour cycle. It'd be more like a 30-day cycle.
I do know Lunitari's got a very long cycle from readings and stuff. I can't remember what.
You mean day-night cycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like it's supposed to be like a month.
that would probably indicate that Lunitari is tidally locked.
Yeah. But I don't think there's much about Nuitari in Dragonlance canon.
I don't remember anything saying one way or the other about
No, I don't remember
Nuitari's
anything.
being tidally locked.
Braxon,
Uh-huh.
you just reminded Lewa that she has polymorph self as well. That she could
Okay.
actually fly around too, if necessary.
All right. How long does that last?
That lasts not. It lasts 2 turns per level, and she can memorize 2 of them, maximum.
2 rounds. per
Lafdul's
level.
like, you're going to tell yourself into a flying GIF.
Now that would be an idea. Wouldn't that be a sight? An
Yeah.
invisible flying GIF. Yes. She'd land on you, you know.
So, does this guide say anything about dangerous creatures being on the planet? Because I think it just told us to stay away from it.
Yeah, it does not. In part because they have no information about whether there are or aren't.
Right. So when we do land, we're going to have a watch, and we might need to take off if anything nasty comes. Let's see how we get on.
All right. So, are you going to? You want to land with the flitter? Is that?
Yeah. If we're just trying to sneak Lafdul in, we'll have less chance of being spotted with just a flitter.
Okay.
Are we going to first let Finn go?
Well, you need to get down there first.
Yeah. The first thing is to get down there, and then Finn's going to be doing a reconnaissance, and then he'll come back, and then based on what he says, we get a go no go with Lafdul being inserted.
Now, Finn, I'm not sure if I've heard you say one way or the other whether you're okay with doing this part of the plan.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because didn't want people volunteering you and you feeling that you hadn't had a chance to speak up and say, I'm not sure about this or something like that. So.
Is there stuff we can do to help Finn when he's on his own?
Spells I've not memorized.
Well, you can take.
Well, we
you can-
haven't gone there yet, so we're planning.
Yeah,
We can prepare spells in the morning.
You can rest around Lunatari for 8 hours, enough time to get spells memorized and stuff.
Yeah, no, so I could cast Sick Guardian on him, and somebody could cast it on me. I think Solas or Finn nail the spell. One of them should know it. It's a first level Guardian spell.
Well, as far as the casters are concerned, the spells we should memorize depend a little bit on what Finnel finds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, you'd still want to take spells right now. I mean,
yes.
because
but,
you're not going to
but
have an
still-
opportunity later.
Mhm.
So, I mean, is that what you
I'm
guys
gonna-
want to do? Take the 8 hours, get some rest, change up spells?
Yeah, well,
And you
No.
could do another Augury if you want to. You don't have to.
It only has 30 minutes, though. Like you have to. It has to be something that you're
Yeah.
doing in 30 minutes. in the
Yeah, I
next
mean,
30
we
minutes.
you could do another one when we go there or before.
oh
we
yeah,
go
I'd
there.
know. Yeah, yeah, I'd probably change up my spells then. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So I think we're settled on the plan, but let's assume something goes wrong. What might we have to do to rescue Lafdul?
You just gotta hope I'm capable of getting out. I mean, I've got a lot of options, but I mean, if I get like 10 people pressing down on me, it's gonna be a hard fight for me to take them on by myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
No,
can
I'm just
usually
thinking-
get away because I've got a lot of consumables, so to speak.
What I'm thinking is, if we find that we land and we're surrounded by monsters that want to eat us or other things, what can we do to maximize our chances of not getting eaten, of making sure we can still send you in the city and making sure we can still get you out?
I could take, well, obviously I can turn myself invisible, but I can also take camouflage and stuff and pass without trace that gets rid of my scent. So I could not be seen, nor could I be smelt. It'd be
That sounds good.
very, very, very hard for something to track me.
That sounds good. What about everyone else? We're probably not going to be needing to go in.
Clara can do her thing as invisible.
Uh-huh. What I'm thinking is, just in case things go wrong, are there other spells that the spellcasters think are worth having as a backup? Is it worth us thinking of fighting strategies?
Generally speaking, I'm going to avoid fighting unless it's a one-on-one.
Yeah. No, I know you are. I'm just thinking for if things go wrong, what we should take down with us, which we're not intending to use, so that we've got everything we want, but not a load of stuff that weighs us down. What do you think? Are we better off having the capability of moving quickly over land?
How much do you like getting older?
Ockar.
Yeah.
Right, so let's assume you're the other good fighter with us. Let's assume something goes wrong and we have to do stuff to get Lafdul out. Is there anything we should be taking? Are there any spells or you don't see spells really. Is there stuff we should take down with us to make sure we can support someone getting in and out of
You want to
terrain?
make sure he's going
Has anyone
down
got-
his wolf in his saddle.
Yeah.
Still
Well, can he
cover
take Behemoth with us on the flitter?
I mean,
How
how many people can a flitter fit?
So the flitter can hold up to 10 people without damage to the flitter, but that's really tight. So
Yeah.
you need the helmsman. So that's 1. You got 6 of you guys, so that's 7. Behemoth is a large creature, so he would count as 2. That would be 9. So yes, you could, but that's really tight.
Yeah. And that might be a bit uncomfortable for Behemoth.
But I mean, it's just 10 to 20 minutes to get down there. So
Yeah, it's just like being in a.
If Behemoth's up for it, I think you should bring him.
I mean, think of being in a rowboat with a large wolf,
Yeah.
a horse-sized wolf.
Say, can Behemoth be made invisible?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in theory, as well as Finn going in to do a reconnaissance, in theory, Behemoth and Ockar could be made invisible, and
Forget
could.
about 2 people. How many?
Yes.
How many invisibilities?
Well,
possibilities do we have?
I
It's
don't know. I
very
mean,
crafty.
you guys know your
Just a moment,
spells.
Just a moment. We have potion as well as spells. How many invisibility possibilities do we have?
Just
Yeah.
as a side note, you can't feed a potion like that to the wolf.
So it would have to be the spell.
Could you speak with animals or something, communicate it, and tell it to lick this, drink this?
If
Could.
Wood says he can't drink a potion, he can't drink a potion.
No, and it's more that like you'd have to pour it down his throat. Just because I mean, his tongue isn't going to be able to get into the potion bottle kind of thing to lap it
Behemoth,
up.
Open wide. Wider. Okay.
Right. So basically, what I was thinking, right, and again, I'm not saying we should go with this. I'm thinking we're going to have Lafdul going in. We can have Finn go and look out the route, and we could, if we needed to, have Ockar flying around on Behemoth with or without being invisible to see if anything's sneaking up on the ship. Now we might not might not have the resources to do all of that.
I think Ockar would be far too visible.
Not if he was invisible.
If he had his armor on, he would only need to move a bit, and they would clank, clank, clank.
Like,
Yeah, one thing to remember that the invisibility does not mean that they are undetectable.
it doesn't
They
mean it doesn't make me completely and utterly silent.
Can you not make
Yep.
some padded boots, Mr. Master Armorsmith?
Okay.
I'm not maybe if I knew leatherworking, I know, and I'm not a master. I'm an apprentice at best.
Can Behemoth pick someone up as well as holding you? Can he carry 2 people at a
No.
push?
No,
Right.
I can't.
Okay, so
Can't strengthen them.
No,
I don't
even
think
that.
strength works on him.
right, would Behemoth be willing to have someone else on his back?
Probably. Well, no, I would say probably not. He's your mount, and he's not a horse.
And he
Yeah.
hasn't been trained to
Yeah.
work with anybody else.
He allows you to
Okay.
ride him because he is your bonded mount. He would not appreciate someone else riding.
Okay, so
If one of us was a
All right.
halfling, they could ride on Ockar.
What?
okay. I think that was a joke.
On your shoulders.
Okay, so
I might not appreciate that.
okay, but the bottom line is if we have Finn keeping an eye on Lafdul and Lafdul comes out the city and he's been being chased.
Hey!
people.
Well, you
Yeah.
are 2 steps ahead. The first thing we decided that happened is that Finn goes in on
Yes.
his own, and we
Yes.
decide how to continue after that when Finn comes back and tells us what the situation is.
That's true.
If going through all the possibilities now doesn't make a lot of sense, because
Well-
when Finn comes back and tells us it's all different, then we are back at square one.
Yeah.
No, but we're only going to have the resources that we take with us.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of the worst case scenario. So if I'm assuming
You're
that
just
Finn,
you're disregarding what we are saying.
no. I'm assuming that if Finn comes back, Finn is either going to say don't go ahead, or he's going to say go ahead. And if Lafdul goes in and Lafdul comes back with no trouble, that's fine. If Lafdul comes out of the city and he's being pursued, and we have Behemoth with Ockar, they can fly to help him escape.
Yeah, but that's just going to cause the whole pirate port to send
Yes, but
even
I'm
more
assu-
reinforcements.
Also,
I'm
if
assuming,
we take,
yeah.
Also, if we take Behemoth, that's one thing. But starting to plan for that is much too early. You say if you want to plan for every possibility, then we take the full ship down and we say bugger the rest. But
Well-
at the moment, it would be better if we just go down. If necessary, we delay for 2 days.
Well,
If we
so
take the
hold
right
on.
thing, then we go back up and come back.
One thing that he's suggesting is what other spells do you guys want to take in this, in case this is the
Yeah.
situation. To a certain extent, I mean, like, you don't need to explicitly plan out every single spell in that manner.
Yeah.
You can say, well, I'm going to take some spells that I think would just generally be useful in multiple situations, for the spellcasters. So, to try to cover multiple eventualities.
On the other hand, with the stuff that we were talking about, there are not spells left, or not many spells left for multiple circumstances.
There might not be. That's true.
Yeah, there might not be. I just didn't want to have us go down and we say, oh, well, we could have done this, but we left this on the ship.
Yeah, then we go back and we return.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, you see.
So there's nothing we can do to help Lafdul while he's inside the city. He's on his
Why are
own.
you going for Lafdul again? Why don't we wait for Finn to return and tell us what the
Well,
situation is?
Because if Finn comes back and says, "Don't do it, it's too dangerous," then there's no further eventuality to really consider, except going back to the drawing board and thinking about what else to do. If Finn comes back and says, "Yeah, it's fine, go ahead," then now you've got the plan of Lafdul going then and there. So that's what Braxon is suggesting is like, what can we do if this then happens?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. And once Lafdul leaves us, we have no way to contact him. But you said you had a spell for sending a message. So if we need to send a message to Lafdul that we've seen something, like a ship's arrived or something, you could send him a message. Would that disturb him? Is that obvious to people around him?
I don't think it's obvious to people around him.
Might get him wander to himself suddenly as he's like walking, he's suddenly stop or something, but that'll be the extent of it.
And that's a one-way spell, is it? That's not a two-way spell.
Yes.
And Lafdul, have you got any way to talk back to anyone?
Yeah,
Oh, wait. The recipient can answer in like manner immediately.
Yeah.
Ah.
What exactly does that mean?
25 words.
Right.
But can he actually respond, or does he need to have his own sending spell?
If it says he can respond in like manner immediately, then it's part of the spell. You can respond, and that comes back to you.
All right.
So there we go.
So you can respond with 25 words.
So what does it say about the what does it how does it describe what the recipient hears?
Is it mental?
It doesn't, because it talks about the 5% chance that the sending would not arrive if he's on a different plane. And it can be understood by anyone with an intelligence as low as 1. And it doesn't say how it is received.
Are you sure Lafdul's got an intelligence higher than 1, Lever?
I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess.
Okay, then that indicates to me that it is not audible beyond him.
and
Like
seem to
something
be a
like
mental
Whispering
thing.
Wind can be audible beyond
Yes.
just the recipient. That's what I wanted to see what that said.
But that one, Whispering Wind, is more like a location.
Sure, that's just what I was trying to find out, was whether this was something that would be audible beyond the recipient, and it sounds like, since it doesn't say that it is, if you're not seeing that, then it's
In that
not.
respect, it is clear. It says, by means of this spell, the caster can contact a single creature with whom he is familiar and whose name and appearance is unknown.
Okay.
I would think
So,
that someone else would not receive this.
What school is that spell?
Mentalism? Evocation?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So especially being mentalism, then that's probably something that, it's more of a mind contact. You might still kind of hear it audibly. The individual would hear it audibly, but yeah, it's just the one person. So.
But would I have to reply in kind audibly?
I would say that yes, you do speak it aloud.
And how long
No.
will I have in order to do it?
Immediately.
Immediate.
It's kind of like, oh.
Hey, are you okay? Oh.
But you can, it doesn't
So
have
you're
to be...
telling me they're over
No,
there?
it doesn't have to be like, yes, Leva, I will do that, or thank you for informing me, Leva. It could be, all right, thank you for informing me, Leva.
It's a phone call, you know.
You can speak under your breath quietly. Probably not quite a whisper, but you could just speak quietly under your breath, kind of thing. All right, so got it ironed out, ready to take your rest, get change up your spells, and then head over to New Atari.
Yes.
Okay.
I can take a few spells to deal with local animals if needed.
All right.
Oh, that would be good.
You got your bear spray spell.
Could you have animals sort of walk around the ship like it wasn't there, like it was a big bush or something? Just make it look more natural.
I don't know that I could do that,
I mean, if you're
You got
using an illusion
hallucinatory
spell,
but I could keep them calm.
If you're using Spectral Force, these creatures are not too likely to disbelieve that, because they would have to actively disbelieve that, and they're animals.
All right.
Okay. Any other last minute stuff, or shall we take our break?
No, that sounds
Wow.
good. But it sounds like we got a way of supporting you if you need to stay longer.
Finn. Well, thing is, this is this might go a little bit, because this is the 4th level plant spell. Would I know about 4th level plant spells?
I mean, you can make suggestions out of character, and I don't mind that, as long as it's a suggestion.
Basically,
and
I
not
was thinking,
hey, you need to take this spell.
No, I was thinking, could you utilize Plant Door in any way when you go there, Finn? Because you could technically use that as an escape if you can find a previous plant that's by the group or something, that I could even go through it with you.
I could.
Oh, that sounds good. So what you could?
Because that should be within I think it's within a mile or something, the distance. I don't know.
Let's
Okay.
see.
So what? That's you could use 2 different plants to make a shortcut.
Yeah, essentially, you
Back to where
step
we
through
are.
the tree and you step through the other tree.
So then we.
So it
probably
has
wanna
to be an oak, I believe.
Oh.
No,
Yeah, I don't think
not
so.
necessarily here.
They might have to be the same tree,
Fruit
same type of
trees,
tree.
undergrowth, similar growth. What? No, that's.
It doesn't have any kind of a distance listed at all in there.
What's the range or area of effect then?
Special.
All right. Let me take a look.
I know any other D&T games I've listened to, they just done it, assumed it's planet wide.
I don't think it's planet-wide.
These were also later edition spells. So I know AD&D is very finicky.
All right,
Or
let's
even
see.
that might be a way to get the whole party in.
Yeah.
Wait a
Assuming if we got to the stage when you wanted the rest of us in. But
The
you're gonna
path
do it
created by the spell is up to 4 feet wide, 8 feet high, and 12 feet long per level of experience of the caster.
So yeah, it's not going to be that far away then.
Huh.
It might get you up a cliff.
84
Though.
feet.
It might get you up a cliff.
You go from one side of the building to another, basically.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of higher level spells like Pass Plant or something like that, or
Yeah, that's
Transport
no,
via
I am
plants.
thinking of that.
Yeah.
Pass,
Plant Door is essentially a plant version of Dimension Door.
It might get you over a crevice or up a cliff or something.
Yeah, but you can fly.
It absolutely would do that. Yes.
If Lafdul was coming out and being chased, that might save the day if you could fly and dress as a bird, sit on his shoulder and make him jump through a plant.
But it's up to you. You guys can talk a little bit about it in between during the break, or just make a decision on your own. It's up to you. But we will take our break now and come back in about 10 minutes. See you shortly, everyone.